Hey, nice to meet you.
How's it going, Joost? Well, I think if we are thinking and challenging Europe, so Europe, we have different situations regarding the challenges of water because of the, in particular, we think in climate change and the effects of climate change. So the effects of this new situation is affecting in a different way. I would say North Europe, South Europe, that we have different challenges. We also have, in general, challenges related to the governance of water. We have many different stakeholders that are involved in management of water. This is a particular case in the Netherlands, and I think digital can play, for the sake of transparency, of having all of the stakeholders a clear vision of what is going on in the whole, I would say, water cycle. We can do a lot in order to help these stakeholders to have a clearer vision of how to deal with these water challenges.
Yeah, I can add to that as well, like what you're mentioning with the different stakeholders. I think it's key to mention that the existing situation with climate change already creates a lot of challenges, right? And that means that these challenges need to be captured, and the stakeholders cannot do this by themselves. So in many stakeholders like drinking water utilities, wastewater utilities, or communities, municipalities have to work together really to meet the existing goals that already are stated. Now, with new regulation coming up throughout Europe, you have more precise and ambitious goals to achieve when it comes to effluent quality, when it comes to emissions and so on. And that's really a new challenge, which you have to maximize your domain expertise in the utility. And the only reason and way we can do this is by leveraging the digital capability, right? In that sense, to help it as a tool for the existing operators and the management of utilities to really maximize their efforts and investments to reach these targets, I would say.
Also, the availability of human resources with the adequate skills to manage this digital transformation of water utilities is also a challenge of water and wastewater utilities in Europe.
But there is quite an interesting point what you're mentioning here, because you have the existing workforce and the people who are working in the water sector. That world is quite small in that sense, right? People know each other. They really chose to go in that direction. So there are people with a lot of experience already working on plants, for example, for 20, 30 years. And suddenly now they get a new tool that can actually leverage, right, to get better or the same outcomes, and that they can improve their hours, their investment, their efforts on the right specific challenges to make the right decisions upon, right? So that it really brings in an additional value. So it's not only the domain expertise in the existing staff, and that the water sector is not that sexy enough to join on the digital piece, but also the existing workforce is not really used to the capability of new digital solutions or AI as a whole, right? Because there is a world to come. I think we mentioned a lot of challenges already, like what do they face. I heard in one of the events I heard a very interesting comparison between that a lot of utilities are actually solving puzzles, and they are solving their own puzzle, right? So on a specific angle or focus area. But actually we have a mystery to solve, right? If you think of the challenge, how can you solve the complete mystery? And that's where I think in the water sector also that comes in, of really connecting the dots between the different pieces within a utility to reach further outcomes and best optimized outcomes by sharing the knowledge, working together with stakeholders. And that's on itself is already like hugely valuable without even reaching those targets already, right? That will take some time. But by just starting, I think it already creates really a lot of value.
Normally, many companies were suffering from this data silo. So, I mean, the the data from the SCADA was only was like a kind of property of the SCADA department. Then the GIS was the GIS guys, so doing different things. Now with this capacity of democratizing the access to data, maybe we are able also to identify like new leaders within the organization that are able to create new value out of the data that now is democratized and is available for all of them. So it also I would say the sheer availability of data will foster this creation of value. So that's
I completely agree, and I think even going through that pathway, right, of digital transformation, I always say that optimization creates hunger for further optimization. So by showing the data itself, making it transparent, see the value, and then even optimize, then later on you can see new opportunities. Turn it the other way around, right? It's not the challenge, you already achieved the challenge, but there are more opportunities to further optimize your whole operational system. And that's unique, I would say.
Yeah, so indeed, digital transformation, it must be understood like a transition. So when I think about this transition, I can think of like two different levels. So we have a transition that must happen at, let's say, organization level, culture level, when digital transformation, or this transition is driven by individual interests or like separate groups working in their, I don't know, trying to develop digital in their own solution or the area of expertise. They are going nowhere. So there must be like this global understanding and agreement on where to go with digital transformation. So this would be like the first level for digital transformation. Then we also have to deep dive a bit into the technical stuff. So how make this happen? So that's what we do, how to make the transition happen from the technical point of view. Then we're talking about setting up a platform as an important, like having a platform to integrate, to standardize data models and so on. This is the key part to make a digital transformation happen from the technical point of view. Then let's going a little bit up in that ladder in order to reach the most advanced level of digitalization that are having this excellence in operation of the automatic operation and digital twins, etc., etc. So I see like there are the transition must happen in two different levels: culture, but then also doing the technical thing in the right way.
Yeah, and to add on that, I think it's also important to connect the dots between those two, right? So when a utility has established a vision, really long-term vision, right? How to get there, get the right people in, and make leverage of the existing staff by taking them on the same journey, right? That's also very critical. What are they able to accept already? In what pace do they want to grow, leverage the potential of the digital technology? I think that's key, because the utility cannot do it without the people that are in the utility, but also the people of the other stakeholders, right? So you have to set up different workshops, collect, listen a lot, understand what they are facing at the moment, right, internally, and then really think about what will be then the strategy to face all of these challenges within the same approach, more or less. And that's where the platform, I think, comes in, where we can have a discussion on where to start and then move and evolve into a larger, complete ecosystem approach on the water cycle, if it's drinking water, wastewater, or combined, right? That should not be an issue.
It's important that this transition is organized in a way that they are flexible to integrate this support that many different stakeholders can bring to their operations. So in this sense, it's important that the solutions they bring into their operations are like open, flexible enough, open enough to be able to be integrated with other pieces that all together create this value for the company.
I think that's also a very important thing to mention, where a utility needs to be open to work with a partner, like to set up a true partnership, right? To have an open and transparent discussion also on the objectives, instead of only having open and transparent data. You really need to sit in a room and have a conversation like, what do you want to achieve? And discuss it transparent as well, right? And to help them. And then partnership is then, in addition, I would say, maybe a slightly new thing that utilities have to become more comfortable about, because basically you are depending a little bit on the expertise of somebody else, and how to get that knowledge, how to be trained, how to capture, because I don't think it's in our interest to keep the expertise by ourselves, right? It's really open, and to share as much of knowledge that we can, that they can actually achieve those objectives.
I agree, yeah. Availability of data is helping in general water utilities to make better informed decisions on where and how to invest in infrastructure. With this all, when all the new data streams that we're having from different sensors, combining from historical data we have in utilities, all of this is allowing us to design optimal asset management plans to ensure, let's say, a good delivery of the service in the near future. But there are many other applications that we are having with new data streams.
Yeah, well, I agree. On doing new things with data, I think that's data integration as well. It's possible to even simulate new situations, right? So by adding maybe a 4 treatment step, this comes back now with micropollutants removal, but also PFAS is coming up and other requirements, right? And that will be possible to see what's actually happening in my system. The data can make that transparent, and then you can understand, okay, this is happening, and what can we potentially do in order to improve? Do we need a big 4 treatment step to cope with our peak flow coming in, but maybe you can already stabilize the flow coming into the treatment plant, right? And reduce the peak flow, which makes it possible to decrease the investments on the 4 treatment steps. So by combining all the data and having like a holistic overview of your water system, I think it's really a new pathway to think more holistically and make decisions based holistically, because data can provide the truth, right? If you have the right quality of data, of course. And maybe on data integration, a very interesting new pathway, or coming back to the question there, is to AI, right? What will AI bring?
The way we interact with
the assets, you mentioned
with the assets, the system.
Yeah, you can think about, you have multiple pumps in your wastewater network or drinking water network. Maybe these pumps are capable in the near future that they actually operate completely by themselves, and that they will reach out to humans like ourselves to say, okay, I'm operating completely fine, but now I actually have an issue with my other pump in the system. What would you suggest would be the best thing to do? And then the operator has a completely different position to cope with such a challenge, because of the availability of AI and data integration. And that will be, I'm curious how that will evolve actually in time. I'm curious what you think.
We will be more proactive in facing the problems that, rather than being reactiveless.
It's really awesome that we are working together now more closely. It really is. I think both cultures click together. But if you look back before we made this official in the beginning of the year, I think we have seen in Xylem as well that we have a lot of domain expertise, and we create a lot of really nice, good solutions with domain knowledge on the hardware, creating digital already there as well. But now I think with you on board and working together, we are able to accelerate. That's one thing for ourselves and for utilities, what we are able to achieve. Plus, you bring in a unique thing that you have built a platform that's data agnostic, right? And it can interact with existing systems already there because you were a utility, right? So it's not something that we as a supplier created and this is the way to go only. No, we now have really an open way of approaching utilities and help them really on the digital transformation. And I think that's a true uniqueness of our partnership together, And we're having a lot of fun, right? I think that's
Yeah.
also quite important to mention.
Well, I also it's not only about digital. It's also that I love this what Xylem the motto of the
Let's solve water.
yeah, also but also the partnership of a lifetime, or you know.
Yeah.
So
Opportunity of a lifetime.
yeah,
and partnership.
because now it's like we together we are covering almost the whole value chain of water management, because
Yes,
now you have a lot of silent brands providing top level equipment for water utilities. As you said, you have developed very good digital solutions for specific processes of the water utilities in general. But we are now like the platform that allows all that expertise like coming together into like we are like an instrument to convey all this knowledge to our customers, the water service and the water stakeholders in general. And this is great. We are like the one-stop shop for them. So,
but the open one-stop shop,
yeah,
right?
open,
So,
of course.
So
yeah.
if a clients already have existing systems that they are really fond of, they can remain those systems, right? It's like the platform is really an overlaying approach that already has a lot of on-the-fly capability, but we are really flexible there with the approach that you have set up by creating the platform. And I agree. I think we are already with good relationships in a lot of utilities. So if you think about acceleration, the partnership that we are having now is really that there is a lot of interest, right, to globally to support on the digital transformation, and that's where we can really understand the local language as well. So we have our existing sales force in the countries itself. They speak the language of the client. They understand the assets. They understand the challenges locally. They speak the operator language, which is also critical, and connecting the dots there with your expertise, but then localize it as well throughout the world, but in Europe as well. I think it's unique, and I think that's where we can really
nothing
speed
to
up.
add to that. It's like we are very complementary and from a business perspective for us, but having you as a partner, then now we have all this commercial capacity with you're capable always of talking not only of obviously the language of the client, but not only in terms of, okay, I speak Dutch or German or whatever. You already know which are the specific challenges of all the utilities in the world. So we are now with you. We are capable of sharing this experience we have on digital transformation. With you, we have the capacity to do this with clients all over the world. That's great. We're having lots of fun.
That's for sure, and I think it's also exciting what's coming next, right? So there are so many utilities now interested and seeing, okay, we would love to proceed in this direction, and it's really fun that we jointly go to clients depending on what they actually need, and further localize it in the existing teams in Xylem we already have. They see the capability, they understand, okay, there is an additional solution we can offer, so we can bring more solutions to our clients to meet their challenges. If you think about, there was the question as well, like how to implement the Xylem Vue powered by GoAigua platform, how to start in a digital transformation. Maybe I can add that that's the key thing, to understand the objective of the client and to start there, right? So to connect the short-term and long-term objective, and then start this journey with the client in partnership. But can you share an example maybe on how we already collaborated in an existing project that went really well?
Well, first of all, is that normally we are with our current portfolio of solutions, we are normally covering like 70-80% of the challenges of water utilities, and we have the skills to also to create or to adapt the solutions to fulfill the challenges. Also collaborating with other maybe companies or stakeholders to bring the solution to clients. So this is the good thing that we have created something that is quite transversal and unique in the market. And there are lots of examples of success stories that we have done together. But in all cases, there is a common. I would say there is a common path. There is first of all an understanding of what the challenges were of the water utility. Then we bring our solutions, or we start maybe with some quick wins. So start solving some let's say specific problems or challenges they were having, and then we are capable of expanding that since our platform is modular. So once we have proven ourselves being capable of solving these problems, we are then, let's say, I would say, entitled to provide like the whole platform, so that we can also start working in all the verticals, and we are in the end like providing this holistic solution to the challenges of the water utility.
Yeah, I can only agree, and I think this is like a true partnership between us as well as with the clients itself, right? It's really like, okay, we are understanding from each other where can we excel, what can we leverage of our domain expertise, and what's really needed for the clients that we are talking with. And in the end, we are all here to deliver outcomes, right? In the end, we want to help clients, utilities, industry, and so on to make use of the potential of the technology, which is already existing. It's a matter of moving in that direction.
Okay, go.
Let's continue, right?
Let's have fun.
Yes.